What's up, guys? It's Undead Gamer here. It's been an awfully long time since I've talked to all of you, but I've been pretty busy, and I'm trying to make videos for you guys. Trying to get through all this. Summer things are kind of starting to lighten up, but we'll see. Um, Making this video to talk about the one thing that is on every gamer's mind right now, and that is, of course, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Now, I think it's pretty obvious to anybody who's ever watched my videos that I'm a PlayStation gamer. I've never owned an Xbox 360 or an original Xbox. I've played on them, but they're just things that, in my personal opinion, I prefer the PlayStation 3 over the Xbox. Um, and so that's why I've always been a PlayStation gamer. And with the Xbox One, before I'll get into all of the controversy over it in a minute, but before all of that, when they first announced that they were making a new Xbox and they're making a new PS3 and all this, I was actually considering getting an Xbox One, or back then it was like Xbox 720, which is a much better name. But I was actually thinking about getting an Xbox One because I never owned an Xbox. I was still gonna get a PS4 because that's all my stuff's on. But I wouldn't mind getting an Xbox to try everything out just to see how test the waters, I guess. Because I've played them at friends' houses, but I've never owned one. I've never looked at got real in depth with the system and stuff like that. And I was going to end up purchasing one until, of course, the Xbox One reveal, which is pretty much a slap in the face to every gamer ever. And I think that's a pretty accurate depiction of Xbox One. It's a slap in the face. Now, before I made this video, I actually made another video about a month ago before E3. Maybe it wasn't a month ago. It wasn't that long ago. It was before E3, but and I was talking about kind of comparing the Xbox One to the PS4 because there was a lot of unknowns in there, and I was trying to compare the two because I didn't want to just get on here and just start hating on the Xbox One like everybody else. I wanted to have something of a compare and contrast between the two systems. That video got deleted by accident, so that video will never see the light of day. But after watching the PlayStation 4 conference, the Sony conference, and the Microsoft conference, all I can say is I really don't see an advantage to owning an Xbox One now. I don't see any advantage. Yeah, the controller looks better, but I haven't got my hands on with the PS4 controller. Because I know right now the Xbox controller, the 360 controller anyway, is much better than the PS3 controller in my opinion. I like the placement of the analog sticks, how the thumbsticks are depressed, the triggers, and things like that. But so we'll just have to wait and see on that. But besides that, there's not much. I mean, you got a system here that can't play used games, always has to be connected to the internet, is still charging you to play online, even though to own the system you already have to be online. I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. I mean, I didn't think that they were going to do this. I think everybody, because, everybody heard the rumors before this, before the Xbox One was revealed about how it wasn't going to play used games, it was always going to be online, and everybody was talking like, man, if they do that, it's the end of Xbox and all this, and but back in our minds, we really didn't think that they would do that. I mean, did anybody honestly think that Microsoft was that greedy? I didn't. But apparently I was proven wrong, and sure enough, here comes Xbox One. And yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good system. Um, I don't see it as a step forward. I see it as a step back because basically what the system's doing is restricting your your ability to play games, like with the used games. You know, I understand that there's a lot of lost revenue when it comes to used games, but still, if you do something like this, it makes me not buy your console at all. So, you know, I just don't understand why they think this is a good idea. And the scary part for me is that I think there's going to be a profit for this thing. I think Microsoft's going to make a profit, and that's really scary. Because if people are dumb enough to buy this thing, and don't get me wrong, I mean, if the PS4 did things like this, I would be out there, pitchfork and torches, burning that PS4 to the ground. But the PS4 is not doing that. Alright? And I'm not saying this to be a fanboy or anything. All you need is a little bit of common sense to see that the Xbox One is a step back. And now I do understand that that some people, for example, want to stick with Xbox because they've done it their whole life, like what I have with PS3. You know, they've got all their achievements, all their friends lists, the countless dollars that they've spent on games. That's all on Xbox. You know, things like that. But like I said, if Sony did this, if they did no use games, always online, just those two, even one of those two, I probably would not buy their console. You know, I don't care how long I've stuck with them. I'll stick with my PS3, or I'll go to PC. I'll do something like that. But I mean, you know, here's what I see. I see Microsoft trying to convert the console gaming experience into a PC gaming experience, because with PC games, they already have this stuff. Most of the time you got to be connected online, and pretty much all the time there's a code you enter when you get the game so that you can only get it once. But there's also a bunch of advantages to having a PC, like a lot of different, a bigger storage space, more, sales, like Steam sales. You can get things for ridiculously cheap prices there. Mods, custom games like, the War Z, well, not the War Z, I mean DayZ, things like that, Gary's mod, and things that you can't get on consoles. But there's an advantage to owning consoles. Used games doesn't always have to be connected online. Split screen, things like that, and that Microsoft's basically taking away. And you got to do that gradually. You can't just rush that in. You you got to get people acclimatized to this, because if you rush people into it super fast, then nobody's going to like it. It's pretty much what's happening right now. So, I mean, I don't know. And like I was saying before, how I'm worried that this thing's going to actually have a profit, because I was at GameStop the other day, and I was talking to one of the guys there, and he actually said they had already maxed out their limit for pre-orders for the Xbox One. I was just flabbergasted. I mean, like I said before, I understand that you guys who play Xbox have all your stuff on there, but you have to look at it. You're hurting yourselves in the long run because you're saying that this is okay, and this is not okay. As it stands right now, to me, the only thing that's going to save the Xbox One are the games. Because if you'll notice, Microsoft's realized that they've screwed up, alright? They've realized that they have an inferior system, it doesn't have as good of graphics, can't play used games, always has to be online, is $100 more expensive. They realize they have an inferior system, so they're getting all of these franchises like, they still got Minecraft. There's a new Halo, surprisingly. I'm sure there's going to be some Gears of War, Left 4 Dead on it. One thing that's kind of really annoying me right now is the fact that Dead Rising 3 is an Xbox One exclusive. That's stupid for Capcom, because then they're not going to get any revenue from PS4, and it's not going to make me buy an Xbox One, alright? I don't care if you put Battlefront 3 on the Xbox One, I'm still not buying it. Alright? You guys just gotta understand that when it comes to games, if you have an inferior system, it doesn't matter what games are on it, I'm not gonna buy it. So, and maybe some of you, because I've seen people on the internet who are like, oh, my internet's great, and I never buy used games, so this is fine for me. And you know what? It may be fine for you, but it is hurting everyone else in the long run. It's hurting all of us. Where, like me, my internet's not that bad. I know a friend who has no internet, so the Xbox One is an inferior system for him because he's not going to be able to play it. And I don't want necessarily the Xbox One to fail, but then again, I also kind of do. And this is a really controversial double-edged sword, because you got to think of it like this: if Xbox One fails, then Sony's going to dominate the console market. Because I'll tell you right now, the Wii U is not going to compete with the PS4. Alright, I'm sorry. It's not. It's not up to that level. So you're just going to have the PS4, and eventually Sony's going to get lazy. They're going to start doing whatever they want because there's not going to be any competitive edge. Alright? But then again, if Xbox One succeeds and makes a good profit, then that's saying to Microsoft that this stuff is okay. That these kind of things are okay, and they shouldn't be okay. Right? You have to send a message. You gotta vote with your wallet. Alright, guys? You can't just be like, oh well, and end up buying it. If you guys will vote with your wallets and not buy this, they will change it. I guarantee it. But enough of you have got to take a stand against this. Alright? It's not such a big deal for me since I'm a PS4 person. PS3 player, I've always been with Sony. But, I know that's hard for people who have been with Xbox their whole lives to not get this. I get that. So I'm not really going to, hate on you for being like, well, I've been with Xbox my whole life, because I know that'd be hard for me being a PlayStation gamer. So I'm not really going to hate on anybody for doing that, and I don't think anybody else should either. But still, I think you do need to look at this and consider all the angles for this, because I think this is really going to, this holiday season, when all this comes out and all this, it's going to be very interesting to see, the profits from these consoles, see if what it is, because I don't know what to think. Like I was saying before, I don't know if I want Xbox One to fail. I don't know if I want it to succeed. It's a double-edged sword. There's no way out of it. So I mean, if Nintendo was more into this market, then I could see it not being that big a deal if Xbox One failed, but seeing as they're not, it's going to be interesting, I will say I'm definitely getting a PS4, definitely not spending any money on the Xbox One, so, tell me your guys' opinions. I don't think anybody should be buying the Xbox One, but then, like I was saying before, if you've been with Xbox your whole life, it's hard to change. So that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I know I haven't uploaded any videos in a while. I'm going to try and get on top of that, but thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike it if you don't, and until next time, I'm out.